There's something incredibly powerful about feeling secure in your own movement. It doesn't have to mean running a marathon or climbing a mountain. It's just the simple, everyday confidence of getting up from your chair, walking down the hallway, stepping outside to check the mailbox, and knowing you've got your balance under control. And the right tools can give you that confidence. One of my personal favorite aids for both indoors and outdoors is a good pair of walking poles. Now, you might be thinking, aren't those just for hikers? Well, yes, but also no. Walking poles are actually fantastic for anyone who wants extra stability, especially if you like to take longer walks or feel unsteady on uneven ground. Unlike a single cane, which shifts all the weight to one side of your body, walking poles balance things out. They engage your arms and core while you move, which helps you walk taller, straighter, and with more strength. It's almost like having two extra legs that don't complain. I once met a gentleman named Larry at the park. He was in his early 70s and walking with a brisk, upright stride that caught my eye. He had these sleek walking poles in each hand and looked like he had somewhere important to be. When I asked him about them, he laughed and said, "These poles changed everything. I don't lean to one side anymore, and I don't worry about cracks in the sidewalk tripping me up. Plus, I get a little workout in while I walk." The beauty of walking poles is that they're adjustable, lightweight, and easy to take with you. And while they may look sporty, don't let that fool you, they're incredibly practical. If you're someone who enjoys getting outside but sometimes avoids it out of fear of falling, they just might be the nudge you need to lace up your shoes and go. Now, before we wrap up, let's talk about something that isn't as obvious, but just as essential when it comes to mobility: your footwear. Yes, your shoes. They're with you every step of the way, literally. And yet, so many of us hang on to old slippers, sandals that bend in all the wrong places, or sneakers with worn-down soles that have long lost their grip. Supportive, non-slip shoes are one of the most underrated mobility aids out there. A good shoe hugs your foot, cushions your steps, and keeps you firmly grounded. It gives you traction on smooth floors, sidewalks, and stairs. And perhaps more importantly, it helps you move with confidence. Because when your feet feel secure, the rest of your body follows. I recommend looking for shoes that have a wide base, a snug heel fit, and a sole that grips, not slips. Velcro or easy close straps are a bonus, especially if bending down to tie laces has become a bit of a struggle. And don't be afraid to donate old pairs that no longer serve you. Shoes have a shelf life. Your safety isn't worth risking for the sake of nostalgia. Let me tell you about Mary. She's 76, lives alone, and used to shuffle when she walked, even though she wasn't weak or slow. She said her back ached and she didn't feel stable on her feet. When her daughter took her shoe shopping and convinced her to swap her 10-year-old flats for a new pair of orthopedic sneakers, she called me the next week and said, "You won't believe this, I feel like my feet got younger." That little change gave her the confidence to join a walking group in her neighborhood. Now she gets fresh air, company, and exercise 3 times a week, and it all started with the right pair of shoes. When you put all of these pieces together, grab bars, motion lights, walking poles, proper footwear, you're building something stronger than just safety. You're building peace of mind. You're creating an environment that says, "I've got this. I'm not waiting to fall and react, I'm preparing to stand tall." That's what independence really is. It's not about doing everything by yourself. It's about knowing you have the support, through tools, planning, and smart choices, to do what matters to you, on your terms. And here's the beautiful thing, none of these changes require you to move mountains. You don't need to remodel your house. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars. In fact, most of the tools we've talked about today can be added to your daily life with just a few clicks online or a short trip to the store. So take a moment to think, where do you feel just a little unsure? Is it getting in and out of the shower? Walking down your porch steps? Standing up from your favorite chair? Wherever that hesitation lives, that's your clue. That's where one smart adjustment can bring a wave of confidence back into your day. Before we finish, let's take a moment together and really sit with this idea. Growing older doesn't mean giving up control. It means getting wiser about how to keep it. You're not being dependent by using a mobility aid, you're being proactive. You're protecting your freedom. You've spent decades taking care of others, of your home, of your work. Now, it's your time to care for you, and that starts with making your space and routines support the strong, capable person you still are. If something in today's video resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. What changes have helped you feel safer at home? What tools have made a difference in how you move? Let's learn from each other. Drop a comment below and share your story. It might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if this video helped you, or if you'd like more tips like these, please take a moment to like it and subscribe. It means a lot, and it helps us reach more amazing people like you who are choosing to age with strength and grace. Until next time, take care of your steps, your space, and most of all, yourself. Here's to walking with confidence at every age. If you're still watching and feel that these insights are meaningful, please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. If you've ever stood at your front door fumbling for your keys with your hands full of groceries or mail, you know how quickly that little moment can turn stressful, especially if it's getting dark, it's raining, or you just want to get inside fast and safely. That's why one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself is make entering and exiting your home easier and more secure. It might seem like a small detail, but it has a big impact on how confident you feel living alone. Let's talk about something simple but surprisingly powerful: smart locks or easy entry locks. These days, you don't have to rely on the old-fashioned key ring that weighs down your pocket or purse. There are keyless entry systems now where you can just enter a code or even use a small fob, much like unlocking your car. Some of them can even be paired with your phone, allowing you to unlock the door from inside without getting up, or from outside without needing a key at all. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not very tech-savvy, and that's completely understandable. But these systems are getting easier and more intuitive all the time. Many seniors who try them are surprised at how convenient they are. Imagine coming home, arms full of shopping bags, and instead of struggling to find a key, you just punch in a code, and the door opens. Not only does it reduce the risk of falling, but it also gives you peace of mind knowing you'll never be locked out again. And if you're concerned about visitors, like a neighbor checking in, or someone dropping off groceries, you can even create temporary codes for them, so you don't have to leave a spare key under the mat, which isn't safe anyway. These little upgrades don't just make your life easier, they help you stay in control of your space. Speaking of control, let's talk about your bathroom. I know, not the most glamorous part of the house, but it's often the most dangerous. Slippery floors, narrow tubs, awkward steps, they can turn a simple shower into a risky experience. But they don't have to. One of the best decisions you can make is to install sturdy grab bars in key spots. Don't worry, these aren't the cold, industrial-looking ones you see in hospital bathrooms. Nowadays, they come in stylish designs and can blend right in with your bathroom decor. You can have them installed near the toilet, in the shower, or by the tub, anywhere you might need just a little extra support to steady yourself. I remember visiting a friend, Linda, who's 72. She showed me her bathroom proudly, and there were 2 beautifully brushed nickel grab bars that matched her towel racks. She told me, at first, I didn't want to admit I needed help. But now that I have them, I wonder why I waited so long. And she's right. It's not about weakness, it's about wisdom. It's about making your environment work for you, so you don't have to take unnecessary chances. Another tip that might seem unrelated to safety, but absolutely isn't, is staying connected. Not just emotionally, but practically. If you live alone, it's important that someone knows you're okay. That doesn't mean you have to call your kids every hour or check in with neighbors constantly. But it does mean having a small system in place that lets others know you're up and about. Some people like to have a daily check-in routine with a friend. Just a simple good morning text or phone call. Others prefer to use technology like motion sensors that detect movement in the home, or even smart plugs connected to lamps or coffee makers that show activity. And then there are good old-fashioned routines, like opening the curtains, watering plants near the window, or picking up your mail, that quietly show signs of life. You're not doing this because you're helpless. You're doing it because you're proactive. It's about creating gentle safety nets that don't get in your way but are there when needed. There's a man I admire deeply, Mr. Howard, 85, who lives 3 blocks away from my aunt. Every morning, without fail, he walks out to his porch with a cup of tea and waves to the same neighbor across the street. That neighbor, a younger woman in her 40s, knows if she doesn't see Mr. Howard by 8 a.m., she'll give him a call. It's not intrusive. It's just neighborly care. And it works both ways. It makes Mr. Howard feel secure, and it gives his community a chance to support him in a quiet, respectful way. Being connected isn't about surveillance. It's about community. And you deserve to feel that, even while enjoying the freedom and calm of living on your own. Now, let's take a moment to recognize something important. Living alone isn't about isolation. It's about self-respect. About knowing that your time, your pace, your space, they all matter. You've spent decades building a life full of experiences. You've raised families, built careers, contributed to your community. And now, this chapter is yours. Your home should reflect that, safe, comfortable, and set up in a way that honors your independence. The small steps we've talked about so far, better lighting, emergency call systems, fall prevention, easy entry locks, grab bars, and daily connection rituals, are really about the same thing, confidence. Every time you make one of these adjustments, you're telling yourself, I'm in charge. I'm still capable. I'm choosing to live boldly and wisely. You don't have to wait for something to go wrong before you take action. You can make these changes right now, with thoughtfulness and care, and enjoy the benefits right away. Waking up in a home that supports you, not just emotionally, but physically, sets the tone for a great day. And when you do have those quiet evenings alone, sitting on the sofa with your favorite blanket and a good book or show, you'll feel that calm assurance deep in your bones. Not just because everything looks cozy, but because everything is safe. Let's take a moment now to talk about one final piece of the puzzle, something that often gets overlooked but can truly bring all the other safety tips together into one strong, dependable system. I'm talking about organizing your essential information and making it easily accessible. Think about it this way. If something unexpected happens, like a sudden illness, a fall, or even just feeling dizzy or off, you want the people who come to help you to have exactly what they need. That means keeping your important medical details, emergency contacts, allergies, medications, and insurance information all in one clearly marked spot. This isn't just about being prepared for emergencies, it's about removing stress from the situation. And it's not just for you. It's also a kindness for your loved ones, your neighbors, or even a visiting nurse or paramedic. When things are organized, people can act faster and with confidence. No frantic searching, no guessing. One of the simplest things you can do is keep a folder near the front door or in the kitchen labeled Emergency Info. Inside, have a one-page summary of your key health facts, your doctor's contact information, a list of medications, and 2 or 3 people to call if something happens. You can also include a spare house key in a locked box outside your home with a code that only trusted people know. These small actions can make all the difference in the world when minutes matter. I've seen how powerful this can be. My neighbor, Elaine, who's in her late 70s, had a dizzy spell one afternoon and called for help. Because she had everything organized in a folder taped to her fridge, the EMTs were able to check her medications and contact her daughter within minutes. Elaine told me later, that folder saved me a world of worry. I didn't have to remember a thing in that moment. I could just focus on breathing and staying calm. That's the kind of peace of mind we all deserve. Because when you live alone, you're not just managing a home, you're managing your independence. And while it might feel like a lot at times, each of these small, thoughtful steps adds up to something so much greater, the ability to keep living life on your terms. Let's take a breath here and look at what we've really been talking about throughout this whole journey. We've covered simple upgrades like lighting and grab bars, tools like smart locks and emergency systems, and habits like staying connected and organizing vital info. But underneath it all, we've really been talking about one thing: freedom. Living alone doesn't mean living without support. It means you get to choose what support looks like. It means surrounding yourself with tools, routines, and people that help you thrive, not just survive. It's about building a life that feels secure, joyful, and manageable every single day. And it's not about perfection either. No one expects your home to be a fortress or your days to be problem-free. But when you take the time to invest in your safety and your peace of mind, you give yourself a tremendous gift: confidence. That confidence shows up in the way you move through your space. In the way you wake up in the morning knowing your bathroom is safe. In the way you answer your door knowing your locks are reliable. In the way you sit down for your cup of tea, knowing your emergency folder is ready and someone knows you're okay. You are not alone, not really. Because every smart choice you make adds invisible layers of support around you. Every small change is like a friendly hand on your shoulder, steadying you, encouraging you, and cheering you on. And maybe the best part of all is this: you're in charge. You get to decide which changes feel right, which tools make your day smoother, and which connections lift you up. You don't need to wait for permission. You already have the wisdom, the experience, and the heart to know what's right for you. So if you've been thinking about making some safety updates, but weren't sure where to start here. Pick just one thing. Maybe it's that grab bar in the bathroom. Maybe it's a brighter hallway light. Maybe it's calling a neighbor and saying, "Hey, want to check in with each other every morning, just to be safe?" Whatever it is, know that it matters. Every step you take toward a safer, more empowered life is a celebration of your independence, not a loss of it. You're not giving anything up. You're gaining confidence, comfort, and control. And if you're watching this and thinking, "I wish I had done this sooner," don't worry. It's never too late to build a home that supports the life you want to live. It starts with one choice. One moment of saying, "I deserve this." So go ahead, take that next step. Not just for safety, but for joy. For freedom. For the quiet happiness that comes from knowing, deep down, that you've got this. If this video has inspired you or reminded you of something you've been meaning to do, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts or your own tips in the comments below. Your story could help someone else who's on the same path. And if you found this helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing to our channel. We're building a community here of strong, capable, inspiring people just like you, and we'd love to have you with us. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and keep living with confidence. Because you've earned it. And you deserve every bit of the freedom and peace that comes with it. Here's to living boldly and joyfully, no matter your age.